Hello and welcome to the 2019 March 3rd stream for regarding today's and 2 days ago maintenance. Welcome back. For those who haven't tuned in before, welcome for the first time. We have a pretty exciting stream lined up for us. If you didn't notice, there was maintenance and a couple changes went through in the past couple days. So let's get right through it. Welcome. Oh, that light is... Hang on. That light's a bit bright. Hang on for a second. I need to make some adjustments. Is that any better? Alright. Yeah, lighting is not my area of expertise, unfortunately. Anyway, there you go. We had an exciting maintenance that a lot of exciting changes went through a couple days ago. There were a couple bugs with that were fixed with today's maintenance. Fishing spots can dry up now. It's unfortunately a counter exploit method. I didn't want to add the roaming goblins along the water lines, and some or fishing fatigue or something like that, because players that want to work, commit 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours a day to fishing or anything. I'm not going to penalize players that are working hard, or at least that's the goal. So the fishing areas now dry up, so you have to move about. It's mainly a counter bot method, and so far it's been pretty effective, until the bots adapt, and then we'll figure something else out. But the goal was to inconvenience the players as little as possible. The range calculations have been reworked to an optimal range. So some of you guys think of this as a nerf, whereas I don't think of it as a nerf. These changes have been in process for a couple weeks now. I went out and, as you know, I leveled Ranger and I leveled Corsair and I leveled Thief on Pepsi years ago. And it just always felt wrong. It didn't feel, swing, and then shoot your bow, swing, shoot your bow. This is a bit more exciting. So, you have ranges and you have to figure out where the optimal range is, and if you tune in as to the proper distance, you can even actually do extra damage. So, I've played the game. I've played what happened, and I parsed the damage with the new changes, and Rangers are still capable of doing approximately the same DPS. It just adds a bit of a color and variety to the job. So, yeah. Open world notorious monsters should no longer cause zone crashes. If you still experience that, please report it. Time, zone, what happened, and I'll try to reproduce it. But I tested in Temple of Ugly People a couple weeks ago. I put the zone on some new code, and pulled the OWNM about 50 or 60 times and zoned, and there were not any zone crashes. Then I got up, went to the bathroom, came back, and somebody stole my OWNM from me. So, fixed the bug where you might auto home point. I'm getting sporadic reports, but generally I have not been able to reproduce it. I died hundreds and hundreds of times, basically killing myself repeatedly and was not able to reproduce the auto home point bug. But yeah, if you still experience it, also please let me know. Your best chance or best way of letting me know is NASChat, Nozomi.com/chat or Nozomi.net. Double click my name in the user and it'll pop up a new window and it'll send me a private message. You don't have to stick around for that. Just timestamp, date stamp. And I wasn't done with it. You stole it. Anyway, that's okay. Fix the bug where cover might cause you to crash, and cover now works effectively. Paladins and other players have been asking for that for quite a while, and now we have it. It was a lot more intense and involved than I thought it was going to be, but yeah, now we have it. Fixed the bug where all melee weapons, or all melee, had a additional delay of 500 milliseconds, a half a second. And this actually has a much bigger impact than what a lot of players might realize. And this was both with the mobs and with the players. It wasn't just the players, the mobs had a extra delay too. So it was, I went out and had a bunny hit me for 100 times, and it should have taken 6 minutes and 30 seconds. It took 7 minutes and 42 seconds. Same thing with players swing and the weapons. It was not intentional. It was just kind of some spaghetti code, but that's fixed now. And that was one of the things that caused and prompted. I knew Ranger was doing a lot more than was intentional, so that triggered that fix. So I fixed an issue with 100 fists that wasn't being calculated properly. So that was, the delay was a flat 17 or 1.7 seconds, which is not supposed to be how it is. It's supposed to be a reduction or a haste. So that's fixed and calculated properly now. Fixed a bug where you could lock up in fishing. Apparently some players are still reporting that it's still happening. I'm working on that and trying to look into that. Sadly, yes, Pup didn't make it into this maintenance. Hit a couple snags, but it's still full steam ahead. Hopefully next maintenance. Treasures phase 2 is still underway. It's just a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of code that has to be fixed and adjusted and tweaked. But yeah, we're getting there. Fixed the melee TP issue, wasn't being calculated. Crash with throwing weapons, so if you throw a weapon, it was null pointer for the ammo, so it will crash. That's fixed. Cyclone Wing, some of the players went over that, but yeah, Cyclone Wing is supposed to do damage then sleep. It occasionally was doing it sleep then damage, which would then wake the player up. So that's fixed now. Lord of Onozozo spawn conditions have been changed. Go out and camp them and figure that out, and something else to find in your adventures. Fix some crates in Limbus, which would let you reset your 2 hours too frequently. In retail, it was 72-hour delay. Here it was about 20-minute delay, so it's kind of broken. Some players were utilizing that to reset their 2 hours and then go fight Absolute Virtue. So that's fixed. Fixed an issue with ammo not adding into TP. It was adding into TP, but then it was being subtracted out again down the line, and I didn't realize that, so now this is fixed. Duration issue with Tunko and Deodorize. So that it is more retail accurate. Next maintenance, it will. I'm working it in so it will take. You can get additional seconds or duration for the thing. God, the word I'm looking for. And actually, this is a good point. So I have Broca's aphasia, and actually a player messaged me, and he had the same condition. So I was able to shed some light on it, so something good happened from there. It's where you know what you want to say, but you don't have the word. Like, it's words that are not common use. It's more difficult to come up with. But yeah, so ninjutsu skill will be taken into account and will provide bonuses to Tunko and Monomo, Ichi, and Ni. So anyway, yeah, so that pretty much covers the maintenance. The last two maintenances. Speaking of which, Valentine's Day event is still on. Accidentally, I thought I turned it off, but as of Monday, it will end. So, if you haven't gotten your items, get them in before it goes and ends. So, alright, we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Uh-oh. Somebody crashed my area. Hang on. And we've got a whole bunch of Q&A questions. We've got about 70 of them if you want to still submit them real quick. If you go to the account tab in Nasumi.com, then click the account tab, log in, and then go to the maintenance tab. There you can submit form questions there. Or Q&A questions there. And get logged back in. Yeah, we've got 64 questions. Let's see if anybody... Switch to Black Mage. Some guys getting chased by a ghoul. Good for him. OWM TOD preservation is also coming, so that will be an exciting thing. And if this guy's up, I will just quick and flare him just in case. And I'm heading over to... Where is my... There it is. There we go. Alright, you guys don't already realize, I can be seen in Vacuum Dunes at the Outpost, so drop in, say hi, wave. Also recently fixed a bug where you could level your mule slot past level 10. You shouldn't be able to do that. So a lot of people did unknowingly, even though it says mule will be restricted to level 10 towns only. People just kind of glossed over that fact and made their mule their main. So if you have that problem, stop in Nest Chat and send me a message and we'll get that ironed out. Alright, let's see what Q&A questions we have. 89, holy, we just got an extra 20 Q&A questions. I should add a time column for that. Main alt mule, yeah, so main and alt have no restrictions. Mule is restricted to level 10 and city zones only. You can travel with an escort your mule to a different city. If you want to take it to Juno or to a different starting nation, you can do that. But mules should not be leveling past level 10. They shouldn't just be hanging out to catch time of death for stuff like that. Yes, Mannequin is in the works. It's complicated, but Mannequin, you can transfer items to the mule by trading them. Alright, I've heard okay, AEO asks, I've heard that magic accuracy is not working correctly. Could you give some detail about the issue? Magic accuracy is working correctly. It was fixed maybe a month ago. Not sure the patch notes. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, February 1st, 2019 maintenance. Magic accuracy fixes are live. Can you get married in game? No. Married in game was GM function and a function to play online, and we don't feature that. So, our BCNM is going to be functional soon. Yes, BCNMs are coming soon. A lot of the AI mechanics are fairly complicated. New stuff needs to be created that doesn't exist yet. So, people were resetting 2 hours in Limbus to fight Absolute Virtue. Yes. Now that won't work anymore. So. BCNM 60s are going live soon. From Afroman. Arcs asks, how about the story of your wife getting how much of the story of your wife getting kidnapped was an embellishment? Could you tell the full story? Many of us are interested. So, what happened was, she went home to visit her sister and her family in Thailand. It actually wasn't an embellishment at all. Everything happened, and it was a horrible event. Her sister brainwashed her through religion, some stuff, and convinced her that the world was ending and to come back. And she just disappeared without a word. She flew, and then her sister locked her into a lobby's down. Her sister locked her into a room. It was a horrible Continue. Okay. Lobby should be back up in just a second. Was monster attack delay addressed? The attack delay was an additional 30 seconds. Or half a second. 500 milliseconds. Lobby's back up. Back up. Anyway, yeah, she locked her in a 110-degree room with no food, no electricity, limited water for a period of 35 days. I was tracking her throughout the period. I basically didn't sleep, didn't eat, didn't drink, didn't do anything during that period. It was horrible. I was pretty much a mess. So, but, you know, I managed to track her down, break into the room, find her laying face down unconscious. The room reeked of decay. The police were there. You know, I thought she was dead. Yeah, and I just crumbled. About 10 minutes later, the locksmith, the emergency services were called. Locksmith, you know, we just left her there because there's another door that we couldn't see. Or a glass door that we couldn't get past, so we could just see into the room, but couldn't access her physically, and it was locked. So I saw her face down. I couldn't get to her, but you know, it was just a motionless body. It was obscenely hot. Yeah, and I thought she was dead. It was horrible. It was the worst feeling I ever felt in my life. And then 10 minutes later, her foot twitched and somebody said they saw motion and, you know, she's alive, and I rushed in, grabbed her. She was 90 pounds soaking wet when we got her. Yeah, and I flew back with her, but she was locked in that room for 35 days. And there's a book coming out shortly that, you know, within the year, that will be detailing that experience. So look forward to it. Motive why her sister did this? Yes. Thailand, as you know, as you may know, is not a wealthy country. Her sister was insanely jealous. Her sister has a life insurance policy on her that paid out in 1 million baht, which is approximately $35,000 US. She was insanely jealous. You know, she tried, and she was just a bitch. So I'm not going to go into that many details, but yeah. Anyway, next question. We have will you be doing anything to help PUP be more viable in Era? Okay, so they will have the magic bodies, the black mage and white mage bodies for that. So I'm not going to go into too many details about PUP. It's still being worked on and worked out, but please look forward to PUP. No spoilers. When will course? No. Okay, so please read the instructions before submitting your question. No one questions. Everything's going to be added eventually. I'm not going to give timelines because stuff happens. Black belt does work. That guy is just doing the thing. Yeah, so instead of when will Corsair artifacts be added? Yes, Corsair artifact will be added. Healer's roll is out of Era. Yes, but it's not game breaking, so there's currently no plans for that. And that was from Mr. Authentic Beef. Beef. Here we have Avalon. Regarding crafting day, direction, day, or moon, does this actually not have an impact anymore? And if not, would you consider putting it back? I'm not saying whether it has impact or not. Do your own tests and figure it out. It may or it may not. We'll see. I have a problem with my thief. Capped at level 58. If you have a problem with your thief and capped at level 58, send me a message on NASChat at nasomi.com/chat or nasomi.net, and we'll get that fixed. Are you planning to fix the resist rates on spells like Silence when done on worms like Timmy or Jormy? Neither mod should be. Yes, that's actually on the list. Can you please remove the assault orders on my character? Stop in NASChat. You know, if I hadn't gotten there, that's actually something that I need to be around with you in person to get fixed. So be persistent and we'll get it fixed for you. Is there a reason that the NM Korea does not work here? If so, can we get that fixed? I'm not aware of that issue, but you know, I'll take a look at it and I'll look into it. I accepted a supply quest a couple days ago, then tally reset, so you have to wait till the following Monday to have the guard remove your orders. It's 24 hours after conquest resets, not the day conquest resets. Windy 9-2 is in the works. Yeah, stuff comes up though. Actually, I should prioritize that one. The KS-99 Horns of War. Okay. He wants me to look at the drop table. Boogeyman. I'll take a look at that. I'll add that to my list. My Black Mage is stuck at level 28. From Cap Nip. These names, I don't know where people come up with them. Did I fix fishing gear like I said last QA? No, sadly, I didn't. Soon though, it's on my list. Summoner changes coming. What can we expect other than Healing Ruby being able to target group members? You'll see when it comes. I have a Rip Pearl Sack in my inventory that's grayed out, can't get rid of it. That's actually retail, but send me a message and we can look into getting that sorted out. If you're a returning legacy player and have multiple characters on an account with items, but you can't log in until you delete them, how do you get them off? So you will be able to log in one character on your account, the first character, or maybe it's the last character, but you will be able to log in one character, then trade those items off, then log in, then delete the character. Then log into the second character, trade those items off, and delete the second character. Then log into the third in the session, etc., and repeat. Can we get a fix for, or get rid of the chat language filter so we don't have to disable it every time you log in? If you have to disable it every time you log in, you're doing something wrong. Log out properly, and your settings will be saved. Is it intended that the date T cooking recipe does not work? I don't know. There's 68,000 recipes out there. I don't know every recipe by heart. So, send me a message if you think something's wrong or something doesn't work, and I will look into it. Also, for those of you that don't know, we have a current blizzard right now, and it's exciting. We're getting like 6 to 8 inches overnight. So, no school tomorrow. Chat filters don't save, but if you do the window at the window level, not the global level, they will save. So you need to go in and specify them each from the window, from the split window where you can set up dual chat windows. Yeah, we had rain for like 2 hours before it turned to snow. So. All right. Is it allowed to have more than one craft level 60 plus on a character? No. From what I hear, though, the de-leveling process does not work. It will eventually, and all levels that are beyond will be lost. So the highest level will be de-leveled automatically. That's the way it worked in retail. So you have 40 levels beyond 60 to allocate however you choose. Fishing is not included. So you can take fishing to 100 and then one other craft to 100. Also, when I said send me a private message, don't send me a private message on the forums, because I don't check those. Send me a private message on NAS chat. We're working on getting Jira back installed as well and configured. Apparently the website didn't work properly for a couple days. As soon as you recognize a problem with the account page, send me a private message on nasomi.com/chat or nasomi.net, and we'll get that fixed. The machine had actually run out of space, which caused a HTTP 500 error. Would you currently ever consider the one active helm per IP for couples that enjoy fishing together? As soon as I have a method that makes it or prevents it from being exploitable, that'll happen. But as long as it's potentially exploitable, that restriction will remain in effect. Will Beast get ready for selective TP moves? As far as I know, that was an out-of-era job ability, so no. That is not planned. Is there any way to change username and or password? You cannot change your username. However, you can change your password. On the forums, it's through the password reset function. If you don't remember your password, if you do remember your password, you can just change it in the forums as is. As far as your game accounts, you can change your password on the website, on the account page. fairly easily. You cannot change your username though. There's currently a bug in one of the Ranger's weapon skills called Arching Arrow that deals damage to a monster but shows it missing. If it's just a visual bug, just drop me a message. If something actually is not functioning properly and has an effect, send me a message and I will look into it. Either way, send me a message, but yeah. Is it against the rules to train mobs and attempt to MPK? Monster player kill for sleeping their own aggros. A group fighting an H&M king, then steal the claim. Example, Aspid, Manticores, etc. It is against the rules. If you see something or see some of that practice, use the use of monsters to kill players by another player is not allowed. Please take a video, take a screenshot, tell me what happens, and I will look into it. Is it possible to bring a character from a Square Enix server over to Nozomi? If so, how? We do not support character imports, unfortunately. Retail and here are two entirely different games. Everybody has had to start from scratch. And that's the way it's always been. That's the way it's going to stay. Yeah. Is it okay to use my mule to level a craft, or is that cheating? From JP Midnight. No, that is not cheating. You can level a craft. You can level a bunch of crafts on a mule. That's what mules are for. Just another slot. And before I forget, we are still working on introducing additional unlockable slots for, like something like 20 million apiece. So you can have multiple mules that will be 10 capped for storage and stuff like that. You can't travel. You can't transfer your WoW character to the server. Can you change Sneak and Viz back? No, that was an era. Sneak and Invisible were super overpowered, and it's fixed. Can we build Fame on mules to do Goppy bags? Sure, why not? As long as you don't go beyond level 10, have at it. Or leave city zones. Alright, let's see. What do you use backups for your servers? Shadow Protect? Veeam? No, actually neither. So, the servers are just clones of a master VHD. I can deploy an additional cluster in minutes. And I just copy and paste the 30 gig virtual hard drive, dynamically expanding virtual hard drive, and spin it up, assign an IP, and just throw some game servers on it. It's fairly easy. They're very, very standalone though. Everything is hosted in a global storage server, so it's all network drives. There very little is being hosted or being stored on the actual game servers. Everything is network based. Is Blue fully functional? Yes, Blue is kicking ass. Totally revamped. We have as era accurate Blue as possible, without the feature of G5, which is coming soon. This is off topic, but are you or have you ever been a fan of Phantasy Star Online? I only ask because that was my first love before the release of Final Fantasy XI. I didn't play Phantasy Star Online. I played EverQuest before Final Fantasy. And then I learned about Final Fantasy, and I ran around trying to jump and couldn't jump, and I thought this game is lame. But then a friend of mine explained it's better in every way than EverQuest and every other game. So I gave it a second chance and realized it was right. He was right. So I joined 11 and just never looked back. Core Artifact gear. Yes, it's coming. Most likely Phase 2. Samurai is something I'm looking into. They currently have a couple overpowered out-of-era job abilities, and that's on my list to evaluate. Yeah, we're looking into that too. Ooh, that's the potential. So, the claim shield protection currently fixed so that players couldn't use radars and stuff like that to show. That's actually... Okay, that's sensitive and privileged information, so I can't share that specifically. Sorry, I'm getting a couple messages. Yeah, I know. Still a little bit washed out. I need to adjust the lighting on that camera, but I'll do that after the stream. No, I have a corned beef brisket waiting for me after the stream, so I'll do that after the corned beef brisket. Oh man, I can smell it. It's so delicious. Yes, I currently use the HD texture mod because otherwise the dunes looks like staring into the sun. Second phase, no one questions. Second phase is coming though, it's underway. It'll come with the tier 1 ZNMs and a whole bunch of quests and stuff like that for treasures. You can use the HD textures mod, you can use DAT mods and stuff like that as long as they don't provide an advantage over other players. Are there any plans to add more instances to Dynamis? I'm not even sure what that question means. Please clarify that next time, and I will look at that. Is the Limbus 2-hour reset changed because of Top Shelf? It was changed because of players were utilizing a bug in the code to reset more frequently than 72 hours. Hair change, please. No. Chocobo digging. I actually had the framework started on that. I started on that like 3 years ago now. And actually, chocobo digging does work in some areas, but not fleshed out yet. When you talk about the development of the server, you say we, but I thought you were the only developer. Can you talk about more who else is involved in your team? You all are involved in my team. We is the server. We collectively is over 10,000 active players on the server. That is we. You submit bugs and reports and crash logs and things like that to me, and then that allows me to fix other stuff. So, you know, it's a collective. We're working together. That's where the we comes from. It's all, we're working together and making this as best and most effective server as possible. What happens if I get an Nozomi tattoo? You wouldn't be the sharpest tool in the shed. Why do other players have such anger towards you? Okay, so anytime that you're number one, you always have a target painted on your back for various reasons or no reason at all. So I try not to pay attention to those players. You know, I have enough problems with, you know, the stuff that we have now. You know, I'm busy enough with this, so I try not to worry about that. I'm currently set on a mule as my main character. Mad Max, if you still have that problem, hit me up in NASChat at nozomi.com/chat or nozomi.net. Hourglasses are still coming down the line for Dynamis, so that's exciting. I touched briefly upon that last week. Approximately where on your list is the priorities of the auto home point bug? Should be fixed in the last maintenance. This causes people to lose so much time and money. Well, now you shouldn't lose any more time and money on that. Will you roll back the Ranger nerfs? It's not a nerf, it's a feature. It's just changing how the job is played to be more in line with balance and stuff like that in era technically. But, you know, just add more variety to the game. Yeah, so that's not getting rolled back. Is it considered an exploit to chain cast multiple spells on Colibri, causing him to constantly cast, therefore not attacking or using TP moves? That's kind of a good idea, actually. Not that I know of, but if it does become exploitable, I'll let you know. Is it allowed to have more than one craft, over 60 on the same character? No. You have, yes and no. You have 40 levels that you can spend taking crafts up. You know, spend them wisely. pretty soon the de-leveling will automatically happen as well. Our outer Horototo notorious monsters in game, been camping for hours and no pop. This is the part about we. So we, you and me, working together. You go camp the monster for however many hours. If it doesn't work, if you're not getting the spawn, or if the spawn conditions aren't correct, let me know. Then I'll look into it and can fix it. When are you going to stop letting Top Shelf do every exploit cheat they want without banning them, sharing accounts, and being a Nazi admin? I'm not going to say who that was from, but if you have suspicions of a player cheating or exploiting or anything like that, let me know. I can't be everywhere at one time. There's thousands of players online at pretty much any given time. Give me reports. Let me know. I can only be so many places at one time. Just on player reports, I can't really do anything, because if I reported based on player reports alone, then pretty much nobody would be left. So, get me some evidence, get me something. As far as sharing accounts goes, that's kind of a gray area. Yes, there's a hard rule against sharing accounts, but it's not a bannable offense. However, if one person cheats and they share their account with another guy, then that other guy could be wrapped up as well and lose their character as well. So this is a counter. It's more of a protect me than protect you type thing. And common sense just common sense says don't share your accounts unless you're willing to lose them. Sneaking Invis seems to be lasting for less time than it has previously. Is this a change or unintended side effect? It was a change made to that, which I accidentally left out of the patch notes because I did it very close to the last maintenance and then forgot. I have played Nozomi in several countries: UK, Australia, New Zealand, and now currently in Ireland. I use my phone data plan, handles gaming, Netflix, and hold up, this question got cut off. Where'd my notepad go here? I have the same characters for the whole time I played in Nozomi. How would this affect me if I was flagged for some reason, i.e. different IP on my account? So you can log in from any IP you want. There's over 4 billion distinct IPs that are possible. The chances are of you logging in the same IP as another character, you should be fine. And congratulations on traveling the world. From what I hear, the world is pretty interesting and more people should get out there. Hello, I am currently stuck on downloading data. When trying to log in, I played fine last night, got home from work, it's not allowing me to log into the server. Tried reinstall the game, did etc, etc, etc. So when that happens, close everything out, log into the account page, and that will show your status to see if you are online or offline. If you're online, while you are clearly not online, go to the maintenance tab and go to the unsession button. And that will clear your session, and then you should be able to log in just fine. If you still can't, hit unstuck, end unsession. That'll send you back to the last zone, and then you should be good. Stuck in the loading screen, same thing. Can you fix the price of Dragon Dice swap from Puppet Master Dice? Yeah, I'll look into it. I need the NPC that is on. So if you send me a private message, Renala on NASChat, with the details on that, I will look into it. Would you care for a game of chess, shogi, go with me? I'd love to, but as you know, I'm pretty busy. I got a lot of stuff to fix, so unfortunately, I probably won't have time for that. What are your thoughts about the current state of black mages? Are they currently working the way you want them to be? As far as I know, yes. Final Fantasy, Black Mage was my first job when I first started playing Final Fantasy. I had a blast. As far as I know, it's working as intended. If you have concerns or questions about that, do some testing, figure out what's potentially not working right, and I'll check it out. Will you consider ever adding an NPC to change the character's face, race, face hairstyles? Can cause skill to help the economy. It's not off the table, but it's currently a lot of stuff that needs to be done. Are we still supposed to freeze when timing out normal fish, or was that not the locking up issue that got fixed? That should be fixed. It was fixed in the test servers. If you're still experiencing that, let me know, and I will check out and look into that. Corsair Artifact, yes, this is like the nth person who asked the same question, but yeah, that just tells me that people want it sooner rather than later. Multiple people looking forward to it. So, can people add an option, perhaps add an option to race change for 1 million gil? Another gil sync to add to the game. I changed my main multiple times and still not happy with it. No. Gil syncs are only effective if people use them, and people use them widely. The current economy is about 5.8 billion gil in game, so one person dropping 1 million gil isn't going to have a huge effect. Can you address when will phase 2 happen? 5.8. Oh, no, it's not. It can't be. Hang on. Somebody just called me on my 5.8 billion, and they were right. It's about 7.95 billion gil in the economy. right now. Actually, that's a good... hang on, let's... I have an error in syntax. Sort by. Order by. Is the PvP area finished? I know it was buggy. Yes. It's buggy. There are some wealthy people in the game. Man, I never had that much gil. There's like 108 people with an excess of 10 million gil. It's wild. Anyway, if you have access to 10 million gil, congratulations. That's a lot of gil. Nabutsu, your ranking gil is 19 with 30,718,472. Yeah. The stock 9.2 slipped through the cracks with some issues, but yeah, I'm currently aware I'm working on that. Actually, tonight probably is a good time to look over that while I'm enjoying my corned beef brisket. I'm really looking forward to that brisket. Got a 12-year-old bottle of scotch that I will enjoy it with. Possible to add a cancel action option through the website. It's possible. It's not really a priority right now, but first time I'm playing Final Fantasy Online, and I'm playing White Mage. Congratulations, Matthew Reynolds. Welcome to Final Fantasy. It's the world's greatest game in the world. It's super exciting. I hope you have a good time. White Mage doesn't need any nerfing. White Mage, they have a hard enough time as it is, and nothing's broken. So, nothing that I know of is broken. If you bring something to me and say it's broken, I will definitely look into it. Cure 5 Enmity was already looked at and adjusted 2 years ago. It should be plenty fine. Cures are too strong. Alright, I'll add that to my list. Implementation of Core Artifact 1, Corsair's Artifact 1, part of the Treasures map. Yes, it's in Phase 2. Have you considered making the airship trip shorter? No. What prompted the Lord of Onozozo change? Because it didn't work properly. Any plan to fix the Moogles in areas of Juno other than Upper Juno? So if your Moogle doesn't appear, you can access it, the Moogle menu in your Mog house with the Start menu. So if you go into your Mog House, your Moogle is absent, on vacation, something like that, hit the start button, go down to the bottom, and you will have your Moogle menu. For those of you that don't know. Can you get rid of the Jinglot NM in Feyin because he's a bothersome NM and only drops synergy items? If he's an out-of-era notorious monster, yeah, we can get rid of him. Just send me a message and I'll look into it. Last stream you mentioned Pup was going to roll out with the next patch. Is there an ETA on that patch? That patch was 2 days ago and then again today. And unfortunately Pup did not quite make it. But, yeah, we're trying to get it right instead of fast. So, can we get a list of priority? Can we get a priority of fixing classes' abilities like certain merits instead of reworking? Yeah. Complicated. And any questions that came in while we're there? What is my guild ranking on Zir, Governor? 1. Technically 1. There are other players with combined guild that are exceeding yours. Exceeding yours by a considerable amount. If you have... so there's currently a bug where if you switch nations, it wipes all missions, including Zillart and COP, as well as your city missions. Yeah, that should be next maintenance. I didn't realize it was so widespread that people were switching nations, but free John Sniper, no. Not a chance in hell. That guy cheated so badly. He exploited a lot. There's no way. I'm not even sure I'd welcome him back if he started fresh. I'm not going to check every player's skill ranking. Sorry. Why does everyone hate Top Shelf? We'll leave the Top Shelf guys there to answer that for themselves, because I don't really pay attention to them or anybody else unless they're doing something that's wrong. Do you want to stab people in the face when they're constantly bitching about changes being made despite the fact that you've provided the game to us completely free. So I'm not free to make any change at all. There are limitations. I can't just raise the cap to 99. I can't just make something that's blatantly wrong. Something. So there are limitations on that. Yes, some people are a bit whiny, but it is the internet. So, and just because it's a free game, that absolutely does not mean that I'm going to, or I have the right to just wipe out everything, at a whim. Because the players, it's your time, it's your dedication, it's, a lot of people, it's your life. I mean, somebody, a group of 50 guys teamed up and fought Absolute Virtue for 8 hours. Like, that's not something that, you will be able to do otherwise. And that's an exciting thing, and it makes me happy that, I'm able to provide this experience for so many people. It's exciting, it's great. I mean, it's a lot of people's homes. Some people's real life sucks. Fantasy life, way better. It's unfortunate that their real life sucks, but, at least they have an outlet. Some people come home from their job, flipping burgers, and it's terrible. And dealing with terrible customers for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. It's miserable, but, you do what you need to do. And this is an outlet that isn't necessarily destructive, that people can explore and experience, and it's better than blatant alcoholism. So, well, moderately better than blatant alcoholism, and personally I'm a fan. But yeah, I mean, it's these guys, it's so many people's home, that people have made a home for themselves. I'm not going to wipe things out unnecessarily. And one of the things that have you tried alcoholism? Yes, I have tried alcoholism, but alcoholism is not cheap either. So, whereas this, free. So it's exciting, to see that so many people have decided to make themselves, to make a home for themselves here. So, yeah, it's happy. And one of the worst things that I have to do, the worst part about my job, is when players go and break the rules, and I have to take all their progress from them. The one guy, when I first implemented the position hack tracking, I announced it. I'm tracking, this stuff. Don't do it. It's against the rules. And I was doing that for months, saying, don't break the rules. Then, first time I added the position hack tracking, the guy just warped across the jungle. And then I had to be really sad that... Wait a minute. Oh, sorry, I lost you there for a second. Sorry, that was a glitch I'm not sure about. Are you going to add combat magic to PvP zones anytime soon? Sometime, it's not a priority, but sometime we're gonna get more PvP. Probably this summer. Summer's an exciting time for PvP. Do you read the players' chat logs to see what they're talking about? On occasion. Not unless I... Hang on. There's a problem. Let's see. Currently monitoring. Not sure what's going on. I don't see me just fine. How do you see me just fine? Alright, you may have to refresh the page. There was a bit. Alright, if you refresh the page, then it should be back. Alright, sorry about that. Any issues with the Thief Artifact quest? I killed the Garlage Citadel mob, traded him the item, and got back to the NPC that didn't get the dialogue. Okay, so there's about 70 million thieves on the server. If there's a problem with the quest, I'm pretty sure I'd know about it. PvP is this summer. I'll try to focus on that, but yeah, we're right now the focus is on treasures and getting that stuff fixed. Would you ever consider implementing or allowing a world where banned players are able to regain access to their character? Obviously on a case by case. So the reason that the character banning is permanent is because it takes time away from, you know, if somebody does something that is bad enough to get banned for, then if something did something bad enough to be banned for, and then I had to look into it, you know, it takes hours and hours a lot of the times to you know, do the proper research and get a banned player. They take away time from developing and from players that are, you know, waiting new content and playing by the rules. So that's why characters that are banned are not able to regain their characters. They can restart depending on the severity, but that's it. My wife and I currently play, and our kids would like to play also. Would that be a problem with having 5 different accounts logged in from the same IP address? No, as long as each person has to have an individual forum account, and then each person is eligible for up to 3 game accounts on that forum account. Multiple forum accounts per one person is not allowed. Playing more than 3 characters is not allowed for one person. Ooh, we're getting some snow. Let's slow down a bit. I currently have the iSpy set up. I have a virtual machine running iSpy and about 12 PoE Chinese cameras, powered by the 96 port switch. Basically, PoE cameras are fantastic. You just plug in a camera to an Ethernet port, and the switch provides power to the camera as well as connectivity. And then you only have to run one wire. I have 12 of them set up around my house, and now I can see the snow and the weather effects live, which is really fun. Chinese PoE cameras can be bought on eBay for what, $20, and then you have to just wait for them to arrive by barge. So can we get a sweet spot notification in battle chat like they did in retail? I don't remember that in retail, but that's not a terrible idea. Yeah. That would be interesting. I have my main character Fabulous stuck in my mule status. Send me a message. Yeah, if you sent me a message already and the instructions and what you needed was unclear, please clarify. I get a lot of messages that are super vague, and the person isn't there when I go back and look at it. And then I don't have any way to contact them to ask for clarification. Do you have an up-to-date job census anywhere? So our census is released on the anniversary. So December 28th, the new census or July 28th, which will be our 6-year anniversary. The job census will be. Or the census will be updated. That monitor is beautiful. Yes, it is. I currently tri-screen 3 40-inch curved AOC monitors. They're 40K, or 4K rather. My current desktop resolution is... I hate Windows 10. 11,520 by 2160. I'm running on a single GTX 1080 Ti, and I can drive everything 3 monitors, 4K at a time. But unfortunately, there was a mishap the other day. If you can't see it, it's these current lines and these current lines. The monitor fell forward, and fell on something pointy and cracked. So I'm really upset about that. You know, there were matching 3 monitors, and they no longer make this model of the AOC monitor. So that is really unfortunate. When it happened, I was super bummed. Yeah, it was terrible. And on another note, Fluffy is no longer allowed to walk on my desk. No longer allowed to walk on my desk. So. Alright, any plans on getting community feedback on server balancing changes? Like the policy on craft skills, level syncing, etc, etc, etc. No. If I asked for if I made a poll for every change that I was going to make, there would be 1,000 different opinions, and it would be impossible. So, you know, I have a direction that I'm planning on taking the server, and I have been taking the server on for over 5.5 years. You know, I'm continuing to follow that intention and those plans. Now, if I was asking all of you, unfortunately, every time that I wanted to make a change, I'd never get anywhere. And plus, most of you don't know what you want anyway, so. Since the last maintenance, there was a current bug with Apollyon or zone treasure chest being unable to be opened from text. That was fixed. So. I've only been playing for a few weeks, so I'm confused about this. Playing both characters at the same time is not allowed. You can dual box. You can dual box. You can have 3 characters running. You know, your mule obviously wasn't allowed to leave town, but you can play 2 characters at the same time. You just must control both of them independently and without the use of any bots, add-ons, or extra plugins. When you said fishing spots will dry up, is it per slot or per person? Do some research and find out. You know, the whole point of this game is to, you know, discover things, and, you know, the world is under constant development and constant change and evolution. You know, things are going to be changing. The point of the server is to play like 2005. In the spirit of 2005, there have to be some changes and some adaptations. You know, things that make things work better. You know, I could add back in the fishing fatigue. That won't happen though. I think it was a bad move on Square's part. Same with the Goblin Treasure Hunters. I think that were roaming. Yeah, I think that was a bad fix. Fishing spots being dried up, I think that's a better fix, and that's why that changed. I can tell pretty well if a character is playing a character at a friend's house, you know, whereas 2 characters are playing separately. Yeah, there's a lot of telltale signs. I've been doing this for quite a while and watching characters. I watch players all the time, partying and experiencing and questing and doing missions and things like that. And yeah, I've seen pretty much all there is to see. So Can players be banned for training mobs to steal H&M claims? Yes, they can. If you see that, please provide evidence, preferably video evidence of what's going on. Somebody... Yes, I'm stalking you all the time. Players are, encouraged to report unfair player activity. There was one player that recently trained a whole bunch of mobs into a XP party and then used Hide, and that player is now an X-player because he resulted in the wipe of that party, and they got it on video. So yeah. The real question is, why do you do this all? It's really a long... I could spend all night talking about that. The whole reason was, I started out in Final Fantasy XI, and I love the game. And, even after the early level increases and introduction of Wings of the Goddess, and then the 99 cap things, or the past and the Maws, and then I joined it for Final Fantasy XIV, and I was excited for a while, and then changes to Final Fantasy XIV were not really to my liking. I didn't really care for it, so I didn't like the direction it was going. So I went back to Final Fantasy XI, and they just changed too much. So, it wasn't fun anymore. It was, everybody, I was shouting for parties, I was throwing up my flag, trying to level, but it just wasn't happening. Nobody did it. Everybody soloed, or just grinded with those things that I forget their names, that, were Alliance and just a free-for-all cluster. It was just ridiculous. It wasn't what I found good. So I started looking into making my own, and that's when I found some guys who had some the same ideas, and I worked together with them for a long time, and then they had differing opinions on the direction of the project than I did, so I just kind of went off on my own. But yeah, it was just kind of, I want to provide the experience that I most enjoyed. I want to create it, and if other people also enjoy the experience, I want to provide it for them too. But anyway, alright, 7 o'clock. I think my timer on my corned beef brisket was just about done, so I'm gonna end it here, and I'm gonna go enjoy some corned beef. So have fun, guys, enjoy, play fair, and have a good time. See ya.